my studio. I would like to welcome you to my studio and my talk. I am talking to you from Manhattan Plaza, which is the premier place for an artist in America for a long time now, and I'm excited to say that it is a validation by my community, by my country, by my tribe, that I am appreciated, that I am an artist, and that I have that stamp of approval to go forward with my artistic endeavors and go on with my pursuit of happiness, which is integral to humans. There's so much going on. It seems that we don't know where to begin. But I would like to begin at the beginning. It's a very good place to start. I grew up and spent most of my formative years in the Bronx. I grew up in the south section of the Bronx, and then later on in the west-north section of the Bronx, all my life. But I was born in Manhattan, so I am officially a New Yorican, a New Yorker from Borinquen, from roots from Borinquen. They call it New Yorican because Borinquen is the largest populated place on earth by people from Borinquen. The flag of Borinquen was created in New York. My parents that lived in Puerto Rico met in New York. So New York is Puerto Rico's largest barrio. New York is Borinquen's largest barrio. And it's a wonderful feeling when you actually put two and two together and you say, yeah, that's a thing. And you reaffirm it, you acknowledge it, you recognize it, and you move forward with it. It's a great realization. Who you are, where you're from. My ancestry is from Alquibulan. The largest part is from Alquibulan. I have some Taino, and I have Iberian, and I have Italian, and I have Moroccan, and I have a lot of mixtures in there, even Finnish. I'm 1% Finnish, so watch out, because I'm a Viking. And I was so happy to be able to do DNA. I even did it for my dog. I did doggy DNA because I adopted and rescued a dog from Texas, Uvalde, Texas, and I wanted to know what he was because I couldn't really tell. So I said, let's do a doggy DNA. And he turns out that he's 45% Chihuahua and Yorkie and a whole bunch of other stuff. But this dog, he has been so very troublesome. I mean, he's a sweet, sweet animal, but he has a penchant for corn cobs. And he's been eating corn cobs and having them obstruct his intestinal system to the point where he has had to have two, not one, two corn cob surgeries amounting to thousands of dollars. And the only saving grace and the only, thing that basically saved his ass was the fact that I had purchased pet insurance. Now, pet insurance is a great thing, but like anything, it's a huge racket. And you have to be on top of what's going on because the money is just changing hands. And you can get caught up in the sauce, and they can come up with all kinds of procedural fees and this and that, and by the time you're done, you don't get what you are promised. But hopefully, we'll get reimbursed for his surgeries and compensated for it because it's just mind-blowing how expensive it is to have an animal. But if you have an animal, love your animal and save for your animal. Buy pet insurance. Make sure you take care of your animal. Your animal takes after you, looks after you, so look after it. They love you, and you have to love them as much. So what did I want to talk about? The theater, doing a play coming up at the Hudson Guild Theater, the Mary Haber Theater, and it's going to be an adaptation of the Oresteia by the Greek playwrights Euripides and Sophocles. And that is going to be interesting because the director hired me, and that was the funny thing, that I didn't have to audition. And that has never happened to me before. I've always had to audition. But this particular director said, "Would you like the part?" And I said, "Absolutely. This is a great thing. I've never been offered a part before." So I took it. And it is the role of Agamemnon, the king of Greece, the general during the Trojan War. And it's a very exciting role because everyone is talking about me throughout the play, and I actually don't spend a lot of time on stage, but when I do, it's pretty significant, and it's going to be really interesting. It's going to be an interesting show. The Hudson Guild Theater is so great with putting on productions. Their set design is impeccable. Their wardrobe is to die for. Their production value is very, very high. The lighting director, she's fantastic. The whole thing is a community-based repertory theater company that has a lot of influence in the community of the Chelsea, Clinton area of New York City. Actually, the Hudson Guild Theater is where Whoopi Goldberg did her one-woman show and hatched it at. She developed her play at the Hudson Guild Theater and went on to win many, many awards and accolades on Broadway for her portrayal of the Valley Girl with the little girl who puts on the T-shirt over her head and thinks acts like it's her beautiful, long, luxurious hair. And all the other characters that she formed on stage that were incredible. I come from a very long line of performers. My father was a performer. My mother is a poet, artistically inclined. And I come from a very, very strong stock. I would say legendary stock. I was born famous. I mean, later on I was discovered by Paul Simon for his Broadway show. But before that, when I was born famous because of my uncle, my second cousin, who was a humanitarian, a baseball player, a champion of people, of sports, of setting records, of being selfless, of actually dying in the act of service to help people from Nicaragua. My uncle is Roberto Clemente Walker, and my grandfather was Inocencio Walker, and I am Edwin Anthony Lugo Walker. I am Walker. And my mother's father was Walker, and my mother is a Walker, so we're all Walkers from Carolina in Puerto Rico, in Borinquen. And that's my blood, that's my lineage, that's my responsibility to the earth. Because as my uncle always said, if you see someone that needs something or needs help, and you don't help them, then you are wasting your time on earth. And he did not waste his time on earth, because he left us at the age of 38. So he did not spend a lot of time here. But the time he did spend was magic. Absolute magic. And I love Roberto Clemente Walker for many reasons, but for the simple fact that he really loved people. He loved humanity. He loved service. He loved justice. He loved righteousness. He loved living for something greater than himself. He was a selfless man. And I'm hoping that they do honor him with the quarter in the Mint this year, and that they also remove his number they retire his number 21 from the sport. So that is why I was born famous, but I didn't know that until later on. It wasn't really a thing for me to know who my uncle was until I kind of did some digging, and I said, yeah, this is proof. I have proof, and this is real, and this is who I am. And it has been such a great honor and responsibility that I carry with me in everything I do and how I operate and what my mission is, I could be really, 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 really great if I could just walk a little bit like him. He lives in me and in the eyes of humanity. He is an immortal being, energy, force field that protects me, that guides me, that marks my every step. And I'm grateful. I am very, very grateful for it. It's been the biggest blessing, and I always lead with that. Hi, my name is Edwin Anthony Lugo Walker. I am the nephew of Roberta Clemente Walker. It's pretty cool. So, this is Manhattan Plaza, which is a beautiful place. It is an oasis for artists. It is where I've lived for the past 3 or 4 years, and it has been fantastic. This community has shaped me further to cement myself as a working artist. I have been diligent in my pursuit. I have been focused on passing on the information that I have, and I teach drama, I teach music, I teach voice and diction, I teach many things, but I'm a learner for the most part. I love to learn. I love to learn things. I love to learn history. I love to learn what actually happened. I like to learn special things like our original names, Borinquen. Our original names, like Alquibulan. Our original names, like Turtle Island. People don't understand. People will understand that America is Turtle Island. That is the name that the original people, the indigenous people, called the land. Turtle Island. And Alquibulan is Africa, because the Romans called it Africa. It actually is not Africa. It was called that, but originally the indigenous people of the motherland called it Alquibulan. So I'm going to call it Alquibulan. That's my blood. That's my heritage. That's who I am. I will define who I am because I will find out. I will not go by what you want to call it this week. It's what it is. Alquibulan, Turtle Island, Borinquen. When the Iberians came to the islands in the Caribbean, they wanted to exploit it. They wanted to decimate. They wanted to genocide. And they said, look how rich this port is. This island is rich. We're going to call it Rico. Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. But that is not the name. The name is Borinquen. 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 That is the name. And we are not Puerto Ricans, we're Boricuas. 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 So nice I had to say it thrice. The minute that people understand and use their original names, it will develop into an ever powerful force in your life because you know who you are. Not because somebody gave you the name. It's the name given originally. It has power. They don't want you to have that power. They don't want you to know. And who is they? The enemy is they. And the enemy is real. So I urge you to study and learn who you are. If you're Irish, you're Irish. If you're Scottish, you're Scottish. If you're from New Zealand, you're New Zealander. If you are from Zimbabwe, you're from Zimbabwe. If you're from South Africa, you're South Alkebulan. You're from South Alkebulan. You know, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's like a secret weapon. It's a secret weapon that we are going to deploy. We're going to deploy it and we are going to spread it around. And people are going to understand and respect and have to honor the names that we choose for ourselves. I always talk about the movie Roots, the TV show Roots. The scene where Toby is being whipped because he doesn't want to use the name Toby. He says his name is Kunta Kinte. And he's getting whipped. What is your name? Kunta Kinte. Your name is Toby. What is your name? Kunta Kinte. Toby. And it is so powerful because till the death you will carry your name and you will never forsake it. Know your name. Thank you.